I live in Orlando, and you know, here in Central Florida, we don't exactly get much snow. So today I was thinking maybe I'll try and fill that void in my heart and build a wintry mansion in The Sims. Look, I'm being a little bit dramatic, okay? But I'm in the mood to build something wintry, and so I want to do just that today in The Sims 4. This house, honestly, I think is one of my favorite builds I have ever done in The Sims. It is, of course, a craftsman style, because that's all I ever built, but it's very different than normal. It's huge. This house ends up being like 5 bedrooms. It actually is maybe deceptively big. I think when you look at it from the outside, you don't really expect there to be as much of a second floor as there is. The downstairs itself is enormous, but the upstairs is kind of sneaky. I feel like you can't really tell from the outside that it looks like that. And I will also say that the roofs were so annoying in this one. Look, I do a lot of building in The Sims. I think you've probably noticed that by now. So I have a lot of experience with roofing and like the glitches that come with it and the clipping and all of this. For some reason, recently, there is a new roof clipping problem that is different than normal. Like this house was so much worse than the builds that I normally do when it comes to fixing roof clipping. And I think it's because they've made the game work less. Like something has changed recently that makes the roofs worse and harder to work with. But hopefully they will fix it at some point. Although I don't expect them to, because they have never once fixed a roof clipping problem in The Sims. Not this whole time. Not since 2014. So we might just have to live with it. But anyway, I built this house in Glimmerbrook, which is the world that came with Realm of Magic. So you might not recognize this lot, 1, because it's in a weird world, but 2, because it's snowy. So you might be like, where the heck are you building this? So this lot is, picture Glimmerbrook for a second, you know, the small neighborhood, there's like 5 lots. Okay, now look at the top of Glimmerbrook. You see that house? Can you picture it in your brain? The big, tall, scary one. It's like 3 stories. It's missing a door. There's like stairs that lead to nowhere in the back of it. It's probably the ugliest house you've ever seen. Yeah, this is that lot. I bulldozed it and I'm building this instead. Glimmerbrook has a lot of potential. I think you can see by like the world around this lot that it's really beautiful there, but the lots they built are full of so many mistakes. Like for example, the house that I replaced with this one, it was a disaster. Like it just, the stairs to nowhere, the missing doors, like I don't understand. I don't get it, but they've really done better more recently with these lots. There was a period a couple years ago where like everything was bad. They would build houses for example, Get Famous, that were literally missing toilets. Like there was no toilets in Get Famous. Oh my God. Do you have any idea how much pain that brings me still to this day? Well, at least this house has toilets and there are no doors to nowhere. I made sure of that. It doesn't really have much of a backyard. I think you can see that it takes up a lot of the lot, but the lot is like wide. It's a 40 by 30, but there's a lot of space to the side instead of to the back. And so with this one, I have like more of a side yard. There's a small back patio and then there's more of a side yard. I'll have to show you in like the summertime as well as the winter when we do the tour at the end, because you can't see any of my terrain paint in the winter time. I actually cut it all out of the build video, but I was like consistently going back and forth to manage worlds. Right now I'm in live mode. Like I've got a sim living on this lot so I can make it snowing. And then I would go back to manage worlds where it's like always eternal summer so that I could actually see the ground, because you can do terrain paint in the snow if you want to. You just can't see it. So it's very hard to make paths that you can't see, as you might expect. So I kept going back and forth and like doing the landscaping in the summer and then coming to the winter, see how it looks. And then, you know, so I cut that out because it was ridiculous, the constant back and forth. But I did do landscaping that I think looks okay in all seasons. Well, it looks a bit sad in the fall and spring. You know how, and that's not its fault. It's just because it's like dead and it's slowly coming back to life or slowly dying. It's unpleasant. I feel like everything looks great in the winter with a dusting of snow in The Sims, and then it looks great in the summer because it's all green and pretty, but in early spring when it's coming back to life and in late fall when it's dying, very sad. It's all like brown. It does not look very nice. It doesn't make for very good screenshots. I actually built this on stream. I always do. I do a lot of building on my Twitch channel. If you didn't know, I stream every single day on my Twitch channel. It's just lilsimsie, same as YouTube, but I stream there. I play a lot of The Sims. Mostly we do a lot of building on my Twitch channel. And so whenever I do that, I obviously get a lot of questions. And one of the things people kept talking about is they were like, why do you have 3 chimneys? And they were really surprised by my inclusion of 3 chimneys in this build, which I was kind of surprised by because I feel like in a house like this, it makes sense. Obviously a lot of houses don't have room for 3 fireplaces, but if you've got 3 fireplaces in real life, you would have 3 chimneys as well if they were in different places and stuff like that. So I don't think this is that uncommon, although I live in Florida, so correct me if I'm wrong. I've never had a chimney in my life. What do I know? But I wanted to sort of make the chimneys like a focal point of this build, especially that one in the front, because it's kind of interesting. It's different. I don't really usually do that. I actually did it in a different build that I'm gonna post later this week. I did it twice this week, but it's nice. I feel like it's a nice touch. It makes the place look a little bit more interesting. Another pro tip, by the way, obviously those are fake chimneys. I just built them with walls because I wanted to have like the stone casing on them. But if you put a real chimney, like an actual chimney object from the game, in the top of them, I do it at the very end and I'll show you in game as well, that chimney will actually smoke. Like the chimneys, the ones that are chimneys as far as the game is concerned, those, when the fireplace is on, have smoke coming out of them. And so I made sure to put those just for like the added detail, the extra effect. I feel like it looks pretty nice, so I made sure I included that. You'll notice that I also just jumped straight to the inside and there's all of a sudden a floor plan completely done. And that is because the floor plan on this stupid house took me so long. I simply could not have shown you the whole process. It was ridiculously embarrassing how long it took me to do the floor plan. So it took me 2 streams to build this house, 6 hours, maybe a little bit more, almost 7 probably total to do this build. The first day, the first stream was just building the shell, doing the floor plan, and then this kitchen. I literally didn't do anything else. I did like bathrooms, the kitchen, and the basement. I didn't even paint the outside. I didn't paint the inside. I mean, I did not get very far. But it took me a really long time to do the layout because I wanted it to look really nice. Like I had put all this effort into the shape of the house and I was like, I gotta make sure that the layout does it justice. So it definitely took me a while, kind of an embarrassing while, but it does look okay in the end. I might be a little bit biased, but I feel like the layout makes sense. And it also has a basement. Like I don't usually put basements in my Sims builds. 1, because I find them kind of hard to work with, especially with foundations and stair heights and things like that. But 2, because I oftentimes don't feel like I need one. Like how often do you actually use basements in the Sims? Because I feel like I never do. But with this house, I figured 1, because it's like this big mansion, give me some more space, you know? We can't have enough. But 2, because it's like this wintry area, I feel like it's probably in the mountains. They probably have a basement. It just makes sense, okay? I live in Florida. We don't have basements here. The ground is sand. The water table is too high. You can't do basements here. But in this place, maybe it's Colorado, they've got a basement. And in the basement, I put laundry, I put a games room, and I put a sauna, which are 3 things that I don't often include in my Sims builds for lack of space. But this house has a sauna. That's pretty fancy. Okay, but in this kitchen, there's like a weird little side part where I wanted to put some extra cabinets because I didn't know what to do with it. So I managed to put a little coffee bar over there. There's like some coffee mugs and a coffee maker. That's it though. I did think about putting an espresso machine, but to have one, you need to have like the coffee bean grinder and the espresso machine. And it's just too much. Okay? It's too much for a Sims kitchen. It looks cool in like the cafes, but for like a regular Sims kitchen, it's a lot. Okay? I think we can all agree on that. It is a little bit over the top. I wish it was a little bit smaller. I feel like you don't need to have a commercial grade one in your kitchen. Maybe you're into coffee and you do need to have a commercial grade one in your kitchen, but I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know. I'm the wrong person to be discussing this topic, but it was too much. I do actually have this nice like circle island in the middle of the room. There's some nice bar stools there. Only 2 of those bar stools are technically connected to the thingy, but I added a 3rd one in the middle because I feel like it looks nicer that way. Your Sims can still sit on that 3rd one in the middle, but it's like backwards, so they'll sit facing the island, and the middle one they'll sit facing away from the island, which I feel like is pretty realistic. Like you probably do that in real life. Like if your dad's like making coffee at the coffee bar, you might sit at the island and talk to him, so you'd be facing each other. It makes sense. It adds up, okay? Believe it or not, by the way, this build video is in fact more than halfway done. I cut out so much of it. You might be looking at the outside soon and be like, wait a minute, when did that happen? But trust me, I will give you a tour. If I had included the whole thing, the speed build would have been so long. It's embarrassing. I'm sorry, but I don't think any of you can sit here and watch me talk about a build for an hour and like watch it sped up for an entire hour. No, thank you. Even I don't want to watch me do that. And I love listening to myself talk. Okay, but small life update and somewhat inspiration for this build. I actually went to Colorado like 2 weeks ago. You probably didn't notice because I pre-recorded for it. But I mentioned I was going to my cousin's wedding because 3 of my cousins have gotten married this year. I now have 4 cousins that are married and 3 of them had weddings this year. So I only went to 2 of them. One of them I couldn't make it to because Dan was moving to America from England, so I was a bit busy. But my cousin got married in Colorado this year, and so we went to her wedding, and that was kind of fun because we got to see snow. Obviously, I don't see snow that often, as I mentioned. I live in Central Florida, so it's not really a thing that I frequently see. I'm from Chicago, and my family is from Chicago, so we always used to go there for Christmas every year, like my whole life up until last year with COVID, and also my grandpa died, so that didn't really help. It makes it more difficult to make it back up there. Anyway, I've seen snow a fair amount of times in my life. I'm not like some sad little Floridian. Well, I am, but not in that sense. But I hadn't seen snow in a while, so it was kind of fun to go to Colorado and get to see snow. We also went skiing. Oh my God, was that a disaster? Oh, you don't understand. It was really bad. I'm thinking about making a video. So I have some footage of my sister and of Dan falling. My dad filmed them. He didn't film me falling, not on purpose. It all happened so fast. But we have some videos of Dan and my sister falling. And so I was thinking about doing some compilations, some sort of comparison to Snowy Escape. Now that I've finally been skiing in my lifetime, I feel like I have some more insight on the skiing aspect of Snowy Escape. So I thought I might make a silly video. I need to figure that out though, but after Christmas. I got too much going on. My grandmother's gonna be in town. I can't do that this week. Maybe next week. But anyway, the moral of the story is I went skiing. It was a disaster. Honestly, I think it's a miracle I didn't break my leg. I'm not kidding. Skiing is scary. It's dangerous. I'm so clumsy on foot, let alone on big slippery sticks. I really can see how people like hurt themselves badly skiing. I had a friend growing up who broke her leg when we were like 12 skiing. And so I've always had this like, oh my God, skiing so scary in my head because of what happened to her. Like it was a really bad break. It was scary. Like anyway, I've always been kind of paranoid about skiing because of that. And now I went skiing. I didn't hurt myself, but I could have. I think that's the point we need to make here. Obviously, it was only for a day. Like we didn't like do a lot of skiing. I went for a wedding, skied the next day, came home. Like it was very, it was not a long trip, okay? I'm sure if I had more time, like I would have gotten more into it. But as of right now, I don't think I like skiing, nor do I see myself doing that again. I'm not very sporty, I think is also part of my problem. That might be an understatement as well. I've never been the most active gal. I'm not very fit. Growing up, my parents were both like athletes all through school. Like my siblings were athletes their whole lives. You know, they were all very sporty. I was just not. I've never been. I'm not cut out for that. I played soccer up until like first grade. I was in ballet up until like second grade. But after that, that's where my sporting ended. And I quit soccer because I got kicked in the head. I was really small as a child. Like I was sort of abnormally short as a child. I think a lot of us were. I'm average height now. I'm 5'5". Like I'm not even short. But as a kid, I was very small, okay? Small and frail. I still am, but I'm a little bit taller than I was. And I got kicked in the head by this boy because I probably was half his height. I'm not even gonna lie. I was really short. And so I got kicked in the head and then I never wanted to play soccer again, which is valid. Getting kicked in the head with cleats, yuck. It was scary. But yeah, I quit. And then I did ballet, but I hated it. Quit that too. But I was only like 7, so anyway, I'm not very athletic. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. That's the point I'm trying to get across. I don't think anybody's surprised. My talents reside more on the tech side. Okay? I'm a simmer, not a swimmer. Oh, I did want to tell you all, in case you wanted to come by, tomorrow on stream. So I'm posting this on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the 22nd on stream. I'm sorry if you missed it. I'll link you a VOD. But tomorrow on stream, I'm going to do a baking stream. I have 2 baking streams planned this week. I've done 1 baking stream in the past on my Twitch channel. It was really fun. I baked like Halloween cookies. I made like, well, snickerdoodles, which isn't so Halloween-y, pumpkin bread, which is a little bit, I guess, and then sugar cookies that I decorated like pumpkins and stuff. It was really fun. Tomorrow, we're gonna bake Christmas cookies again, but I'm gonna make like sugar cookies, the classics. I think I'm gonna make a couple more cookies. Dog treats I'm gonna make, which should be fun. But also, I'm going to make the gingerbread so that on Thursday, I can make a gingerbread house. This is my first time making a gingerbread house from scratch, and the 3rd time in my entire life making a gingerbread house at all. I have 2 memories of gingerbread houses in my lifetime. The first time was way back in 2003 when I was 4. My mother and I made a gingerbread house and then she went into labor with my brother. So that was the same day. I recall it very vividly. Also, that was in November on the 29th. So like we were early. But we made one then. And then 2 years ago in 2019, me and Dan made gingerbread houses. So as you can see, I am actually quite the gingerbread expert. I have a lot of experience. I've been making gingerbread houses since I was 4, technically. You know who hasn't? My stupid brother. He missed out. He decided not to be born yet. So that's his fault. Your loss, Brett. You could have come a day earlier. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh, speaking of my brother, so for his 18th birthday this year, by the way, he turned 18 like a couple weeks ago. I bought him an Oculus, like, you know, the VR headset video game system, because he really wanted one. And then I was like, well, if I get Brett an Oculus, I can play with the Oculus. So like, happy 18th birthday, buddy. So I bought him one. I've had a lot of fun playing with it. We played with it a few times, like on his birthday and then over the last couple weekends. It's a really cool thing. I don't know if it's something that I would like to own myself. Like, I probably wouldn't play with it a lot if I owned one, because it makes me feel a bit nauseous playing a lot of those games, but it's really cool to mess with. I guess my advice to you is that if you get the chance to play with someone else's Oculus, do it. Anyway, I want to show you a tour of the build now. So like I said, I built it in Glimmerbrook. It's on this lot back here. Let me load into it in the winter time so you can see it in all of its glory. So you can tell that it might look a little bit different than it did from the video because I've added some things. For example, some lights, some reindeer. I think this looks so cute. I'm not gonna lie, I am obsessed with this house. I'm really proud of myself for this one. Also, look, do you see the smoke coming out of the fireplaces? How cool is that? Anyway, the backyard is actually pretty big. I didn't put a ton. If you look really closely, you can see there actually is patio. There's the texture there. It's just underneath the snow. So this whole area is a patio. There's like a hot tub and a bike. There's like a little covered space right here. And then there's like a little pathway that leads you along over this way. And then it takes you out this back door, but there's also a little porch here. There's a swing set, lots of space for making snowmen. There's actually a pretty big front porch as well. And then on the inside, you walk straight into this entryway space. If you go to the left, it takes you into like a hallway and then another hallway. This is all kind of like wasted space. I didn't know what to do with it. But you come in here. This is the parents' bedroom. They have a really big room with a fireplace and an ensuite bathroom. And then this is like an office sort of library kind of area. Also a fireplace. To the right, there's a really big dining room. This has the stairs both upstairs and to the basement in it too. There's a kitchen with a breakfast nook. The kitchen I am really happy with. I think it looks really cool. Also, look at the view from the sink. Like, you can see all those trees and the mountains behind it. Come on. We have a big living room. I made like a sort of hutch for the TV. I feel like that's kind of realistic, especially in a big house like this. They have a fireplace. They've got a Christmas tree with train set around it. Question. Have you ever had a train set around your Christmas tree if you have Christmas trees? Because I never have. Never in my life did we do that, but I see that in movies, so I put it here. There's also like a grandma's bedroom downstairs or like some guest sort of bedroom downstairs that I put. In the basement, we have that game room I was talking about. It's got a foosball table. There's also a little laundry room and the sauna that I mentioned, which in my head is so fancy. Like, this is so cool. I only have hampers in this laundry room, by the way. I found that I think hampers and laundry are so annoying in The Sims. So in real life, you know what? It might be more useful to have like a hamper in each bedroom. In The Sims, they only need 2. You don't need to have your Sims trying to carry laundry up and downstairs. It just doesn't work. They are not smart enough to do that. They can't handle it. So put it all in one room. Okay, and then upstairs, this is where the clipping gets a bit annoying, so I apologize. But upstairs, there are a couple more bathrooms. We've got one upstairs in this little dormer space. There's a nursery. The nursery has an ensuite bathroom and no bathtub. So maybe not the most practical thing, but it's there. There's 2 more bedrooms. There's like a twins bedroom here for some kids and like what I was picturing being a teen's bedroom in here. And that is the whole house. Like I said, it's kind of big. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, that's embarrassing. I had a wall painted the wrong color outside. But I do like the color scheme out here. I think like the different textures of all of the paneling and stuff looks really cool. I love the stone. I don't know. I like this house. I hope that you like it too. It is on my gallery if you want to download it. It costs like 158,000 simoleons. It uses a lot of packs. For that, I apologize, but it's pretty. Like I mentioned before, I've got a bunch of links down below for you. If you want to check them out, I am streaming, so you can drop by. And I'll see you all later. Okay, bye everybody. I feel irrationally excited about the smoke coming out of the chimneys. For some reason, I just think that is so cute. It's the little things.